Hello there, and welcome back to episode 5 of Hanabi Beginner Reviews. Before I jump into the review, I've got a few community updates. So I guess the big one is there's a new Hanabi Discord called Hanabi Central. Long story short, we all kind of figured it would be best and simplest to sort of just make a spin-off community for more general Hanabi topics, exploring new systems and more like casual play. Basically, all things Hanabi that aren't directly related to the H group convention set. And that way the H group server can stay focused on the H group conventions and that already established community. They're both still super active and awesome, so I'll link them both in the description. So come on over and join and play some Hanabi with us. With that out of the way, let's dive in. I'd say the main topic that this particular replay lends itself to is kind of how to not get greedy in a game, particularly one in which things seem to be going pretty well. And in games like that, I think the most important thing you should try to do is just make sure everyone stays clear and you minimize the risk of horrible desync blunders and all that. So it's really just, how to convert a good deal into a surefire win. So right off the bat, right, the first clue maybe is a good example of something Alice could do, but I don't think she should do. So Alice sees this yellow 2, the yellow 1, and heck, actually, lots of 1s. So, I mean, we have 3 1s and all the connecting 2s, so it's a very nice board to start. So the question is, how should Alice start? Well, here's one thing I don't think she should do, and that would be giving an exciting looking finesse on yellow. Okay, so this is saying this yellow 2 is playable. And, you could be excited to see that, ooh, this is a layered finesse. I think we saw that last time. So in theory, right, you'd think Bob plays, and then he'll be shocked it's not yellow 1, and he'll keep digging for yellow 1. But wait, hold on, it's not that simple, because now it's Bob's turn, and you'll realize that Bob actually will not blind play at all, because from his perspective, this is simply a finesse on Kathy. Sure enough, Kathy also has a yellow 1 on finesse. So this is what we call an ambiguous finesse. And in general, they should be avoided. They're not horrible, but they can cause confusion. And I'd say sure, maybe if Alice didn't have any other good clue to give. But in this case, there are plenty of other options. So let's keep exploring. Okay, the other really obvious one would be 1s to Bob. But as I've talked about, this seems like a very greedy clue as well, right? Yeah, it's getting 3 cards for 1 clue up front, but it gets really awkward moving forward. Because Bob, suddenly, he can't really help out with any 1s elsewhere, because he has no idea what his 1s are. He also, the other thing to note, we call that very low tempo. It's going to be slow, that Bob is going to be the one, playing all these cards out. But hey, again, that's a fine clue, for sure. But let's see if there's another option. What Alice decides to do here is start with blue to Donald. That is a play clue. Quick reminder, right? This is a play clue because it's a blue clue. A 2 clue might look more appealing, right? Ooh, 3 for 1. But remember, this clue is not actually a play signal. It's actually just telling Donald to save this card. So a 2 clue would not actually trigger a finesse. That's a common beginner error, I'd say. So that's why Alice is sure to clue it with blue, because that actually forces Bob's hand to blind play blue 1. Okay, a classic finesse. So now things are a little funny because sure enough, Bob draws another 1. Yeah, Kathy sees yellow 1, yellow 2, so she can actually do an incredibly powerful move here. and get 4 cards for 1 clue. See if you can spot it. Here we go. 2 to Donald. Now, this is very different than the 2 clue I talked about last turn, because in this case, this 2 clue is off chop, right? There's no 2 on chop that's being clued, so it's therefore not a save clue. It's actually a play clue on this clue, or on this card rather. Kathy's telling the team that this 2 is playable. This is a reverse finesse. Not only that, it is a reverse layered finesse, and not only that, there's a special name for this kind of finesse. But we'll get there in a sec. For now, it's Donald's turn. Donald doesn't know which 2 this is, right? This is the kind of weird thing. This 2 could be a red 1, red 2. Or maybe it's yellow 1, yellow 2. So Donald doesn't know which is true, so he just has to sit tight and see what happens. Now, Donald certainly could just play the 2 and move on with life. But this is a little bit fancy, but I don't know, it's cool. Donald thinks to himself, well, I see green 1, green 2, and green 4, so how cool would it be if I have green 3 exactly? So what Donald does is a nice little teamwork moment. He actually clues green, which sets up Alice for a potential monster clue. So if Donald is correct that this is green 3, then this would be a monster green clue to Kathy's 4, finessing the 3, prompting the 2. Life would just be grand in that case. Now, of course, that's not actually true, but hey, what do they say? You miss every shot you don't take. So even though the team has only spent 3 clues so far, they've already gotten 1, 2, 3. Remember, these are both going to blind play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards touched. So 8 cards for 3 clues. That's like incredible. Now, as great as that sounds, you always have to be careful, because what's the opposite of a silver lining? I don't know, a lead lining to this otherwise golden situation is that the team has been so efficient that they actually have to be starting to discard soon, right? They're going to be running out of clues to give. For example, here could be a huge danger. Let's say Alice keeps going with the monster efficiency line, right? So even though this wasn't green 3, it turns out it is red 3. So Alice could do a monster clue, which would be 4 to Kathy. Another 2 for 1. Now they've gotten 10 cards. And you can imagine, okay, Bob would play. But now, ask yourself, what does Kathy do? Literally every card has been gotten in Bob and Donald's hand. And it turns out Alice doesn't have anything left to clue in her hand either. So the team was so efficient that they actually basically have forced Kathy to discard. And then they'd lose the game. Now, of course, you never know. Maybe Alice has a blue 3 or something, and maybe things would go fine, because then, of course, Kathy would, well, in this case, another monster finesse. But remember, this is Alice's perspective. As far as Alice knows, her hand could be all trash, or we'd like to say, what if they're all 4s, right? What if there's nothing to clue in her hand? Which turns out there is not anything else to clue. So yeah, this 4 clue would probably be game ending. So yeah, you gotta watch out. So with that, Alice does the first smart conservative play, and instead of going with the monster clue, she recognizes that they're far ahead. There's no need to be rushing discards, so she just saves the 5. Really simple. Okay, so here comes what I was talking about before, this tricky situation here. Bob blind plays, thinking, of course, well, he's been promised a yellow 1. He knows he has a yellow 1. He plays this. He gasps in surprise. But now he knows 100% this must be yellow 1. So remember, it was Kathy who gave the clue. If we scroll back, Kathy was the one who gave this 2 clue. So anyway, okay, here comes another tricky situation, I'd say. Turns out Alice also has a red 4. So Kathy could, again, do a very highly efficient clue and give 4. Prompt this, finesse this. What could possibly go wrong? Well, I'll tell you what could go wrong. I would argue this is complicated. This is confusing. Because let's think about what Donald knows, right? He got a 2 clue here, which got a red 1 to blind play, and then immediately Kathy follows up with 4. Now, I would say this is dangerous because although Donald now knows this is red 3 being finessed, I think there is a non-zero risk that Donald would be quick on the trigger and immediately play this thinking it is indeed red 2. It's just an awkward situation, and ask yourself, like, what are you actually gaining from doing this? You're introducing confusion and potential risk of a bomb, and you're gaining what? Like 1 extra efficiency. But let me tell you, yeah, the team does not need efficiency right now. Like we said, right? They've gotten like a dozen cards at this point, and they still have half their clues, half their starting clues. So I could go on and talk about how this has benefits for Kathy in the future as well, but for now, let's move on. Kathy does what I think is a very smart and disciplined decision, which is to intentionally decline this finesse and instead just give a really clear clue. Kathy just clues the red 3 directly. Of course, we didn't get the red 4, but now look at how simple Donald's life has become. He knows this is the red 2, right? No risk here, which also means he now knows this is yellow 2, and he also knows this is the 3. I think that's very strong. So, okay, Donald plays the red 2 into the red 3. Oh, sorry, I should mention Donald Donald does check and make sure that, nothing else is at risk right now. And yes, he can go ahead and start playing his cards. So, okay, play. Well, Alice has a few things to do. This blue 3 is a really nice pickup, so Alice could just give a finesse here. But she decides to give the red 4 first. Remember, not knowing that she also has it. Okay, so Bob's turn. Remember, he knows this is a yellow 1 from before. Oh, and I forgot to say the special name for this kind of finesse. Basically, it's a special kind of layered finesse that is extra confusing, you could say, for Donald, because the first card that plays could also match this card, right? So this could be either a yellow or red 2. And that is just to show you what I mean. A non-surreptitious finesse would be sort of like this. Let's say Donald plays this. Alice does the same 5 clue. Bob plays this 3. Now in this case, right, this blind play here obviously does not connect with this 2. So there's no confusion in Donald's mind that this is connected to this. And in this case, it's very, very obvious that it's exactly yellow 2, right? While, as opposed to this, even though the first blind play happens, Donald still has to wait and see whether this is indeed red 2 or yellow 2. Okay. And if you're thinking to yourself, this is kind of confusing, I agree. This is why you always really want to be careful when using this kind of convention. Okay, so onwards. So Bob has a lot of stuff to do. And now this was too cute not to showcase. Bob decides to be super safe. Remember, so he knows this is yellow 1. Well, guess what? He sees another yellow 1. So this is a very special case where he can actually blind discard this card, knowing it's yellow 1. It's globally known as yellow 1. So he plays this, passes it to Kathy. I'll leave it to you to ask yourself why Bob might want to do that. You can leave a comment or ask a question. So, okay, so he passes that, gets a clue back. And now Kathy knows this is yellow 1, but she delays. And that is totally fine to do because this has been promised. This yellow 1 has promised this here, so we don't say that is a necessary thing. So she has more important things to do. In this case, she sees a very, very juicy clue, which is 4 to Bob. Finessing the blue 3. So we got blue 2, blue 2, 3, blue 4. Okay, which of course, that means Donald plays this card first to really clarify to the whole team what's going on. So Bob should really suspect, actually I think this is known blue 4, yeah. There's no other 4 that would be playable, right? Red 4's already gotten. Yeah, it's known blue 4 in this case. Alright, at long last, Alice has nothing left to do. They've done a really good job, spent 12 turns of cluing and all that, and finally she can be very confident, discard, and is not at all shocked to see that she discards trash. Okay, so Bob, well actually now everyone can just sort of start playing out their cards. So we get the 1, we get the blind play at long last, the yellow 1 has been played. Donald demonstrates the blue 3 blind play, very important. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to talk about this for a sec. Let's imagine Donald does not blind play. Let's say Donald gets a little cocky and thinks, well, of course this is blue 4, blue 3. I don't have to play this card. I'm just going to play my yellow 2. Now, the downside of that might look fine in theory, but it's kind of selfish and might cause problems. Because now, let's think what other people might think about this decision. We're going to rewind time from Alice's perspective. So, from Alice's perspective, right? Kathy clues 4. That's a play clue on the 3. Alice assumes finessing Donald. We get this. But then all of a sudden, Donald does not blind play. Let's say Donald just plays, I don't know, yeah, this, whatever. Now Alice has to think, well, why didn't this play? It must mean someone else has the blue 3. Like the other blue 3. Well, I don't see it. So I'm going to start blind playing. So yeah, that's sort of the flip side of what we talked about earlier about the ambiguous finesse. So long story short, it's very important to demonstrate blind plays as soon as possible to really resynchronize the team. So again, no reason to get greedy and play other stuff because it might seem cool. Just play your cards, make things clear, help your teammates out. So now we have green 3 show up. Well, this is perfect because this has already been touched. And Alice can do a pretty cool clue here. She clues green to this card. Well, it's a play clue on the 4. Bob sees the 3. So where's the 2? Well, there's only one option. It's right here. So this is a kind of cool self-prompt. It's getting this card to play, and then this card to blind play. Yeah, there are some corner cases where that doesn't work, but that's for another video. Okay, Donald, again, has some options. He decides to play the 2, which I think is nice because it sets up the 3 if need be. But Alice has other ideas. So again, this is a nice little clue called a continuation, I guess you'd call it. Of course, this is never the blue 4 because the blue 4 is here. So it's just saying this card is the next card, right? After this. So play this and then play this. Easy. Okay. Kathy, there is a clue left. Kathy sees trash over here. So she gives one more continuation clue here, right? Now, this one might look particularly scary, right? Because what's stopping this from being the red 3? Well, it's not actually scary because this is already globally known. This has already been called as the red 3, right? If we go back, this is the magic of replays. Remember, this red card was clued long ago, so as a play clue. So this has already been promised as red 3. So this plays. Yeah, here's the 4. So off the top of the deck, the team has drawn the whole purple suit. Bob's got all sorts of stuff to do. Plays the 5. Gets the clue back, which is nice. Okay, and here's the final interesting point of this replay. It's Kathy's turn. She literally sees the whole purple suit. And I'll ask you, what clue do you think Kathy should give here? And a hint, I'll say to really think back to everything we've covered today about clarity, efficiency, greed, all that. So think about what you give here, and then really play it out in your mind. Think about how things will play out and who will think what. Because, yeah, there's certainly some finesses here to give. The question is, what and how? And I'll give half credit again for, I think, the very tempting clue, which is the full greedy 4 to Alice. It's hard to resist, right? We're getting, that's a play clue on a 4, which is getting a finesse here, here, the 3, and the 4. Amazing, right? But here's where I'll say I don't think this is the best clue. I think this is greedy, it's confusing, and let's see if you can spot why. If you notice, this is, it turns out, another ambiguous finesse. I'll show you. Okay, so Donald, it's easy for Donald. Donald has to play the 1, right? He doesn't see a purple 1 anywhere else, so boom. Alice sees the 2 here, but wait, what else does Alice see? Alice sees the purple 3. So as far as Alice knows, this could be a, I don't know, total trash. All Alice knows is that this is purple 4, purple 2, purple 3, purple 4 are going to play. So it's going to be confusing because in actuality, well, this is purple 3. So what's going to happen? Let's say play. Let's say we clue the 5. Bob plays the 2. That part's clear, right? We play, play. But now is where things get nasty. Because from Bob's perspective, he thought this purple 3 is being used. From Bob's perspective, we got the 1 to play. We got the Bob plays the 2. But now Bob thinks clearly we're using Alice's purple 3. So now we've got a problem. Suffice it to say, it might work out, but it might also cause a lot of issues. Maybe Alice will delay. Maybe Bob gets scared. Maybe Bob blind plays a 5, or who knows. I'll tell you, you really don't want to find out. If you don't have to. It might work, it might not. So instead of all that, this is the kind of situation where I really strongly advise, as long as, you know, nothing is at risk, there's a much simpler clue that'll really help the team. And that's just purple to Bob. Make it really clear that these purple cards are good. We still get the finesse here. Yes, we have not touched the purple 4 yet, but is that really a problem? I mean, yeah, the game's basically won, so I think this is a very strong clue that I think, sadly, not enough players would choose, even at high levels. Yeah, the only thing that could ever go wrong is someone gets confused, someone gets scared, people get desynced, and yeah, once that happens, all bets are off. So keep it simple, get the purple 2. It doesn't hurt. Alice has a great follow-up, right? Alice clues this 3, which also fills this in. And from here, I'm just going to zoom through because that's GG. We finished the purple suit. we've finished the yellow suit, and yep, Bob blind plays from the finesse. And that is gonna do it. Whew, okay. It's sort of my goal, and I'm happy that this video was a little bit more in-depth and more complicated. This has worked well, I think, in sort of building out your skills. If you've watched all these videos, I would hope that you are now really well equipped to go out and navigate the easy deals, the hard deals, and everything in between. So hope you enjoyed, and like I said at the start, come on over to the Discord channels and come play with us. Alright, see you next time.